hermanos. Today I'm going to be mostly talking, and I want to share to you what happened, basically a testimony. In school, right? We were doing the spelling centers, and in one of the centers we had to write. And somebody brought up, we were reading about how you sleep, and somebody brought up, I can't sleep very well. And then we were telling him ways how to go to sleep faster. And then the teacher said, maybe you can meditate too. But then I came in and said, no, don't meditate. And then his name was Sawyer. He said, I can't meditate. He had the same religion that we did. And I noticed that the teacher took off her glasses, and while everyone was like mocking me, saying, what are you talking about? She said, let him speak. And I said, every morning, since my teacher, she doesn't know much of God and she likes yoga, she tells us to meditate. She says, peace begins with me. And then I said to the teacher, peace begins with me? That's not right, because the only peace you can have is with God, and God only. And God can find that hole in your heart and fill it up with peace. Peace doesn't begin with you, it begins with God. And I noticed when I was looking, because once we do that, once they meditate, I just sit there, maybe I go on my knees, pray, and I see Sawyer, the one that has our religion, and he looks at me, and I noticed he has the same religion as me. And then we were talking, right? And I noticed when I looked back to the teacher, she was crying in tears, a lot of tears. She said, let's go back to reading. Now, what I want to say about peace begins with me. That's not it. And the only peace you'll have is with God. People ask me why, is because this earth, they've been making so many bad stuff. People say you can meditate and get away from the world, but the only peace you'll ever have is with God. And I noticed when in lunch, once somebody was in my group, and we were talking, and somebody named Daniel, he said, well, meditating is kind of fun. Then he said, no, that peace begins with me is a lie, and peace only begins with God. So then I said, you got that from me, didn't you? And he said, yes. And we also had to learn that in some situations, people are in need. And we can teach people the correct way how to do things. So I want to leave you today with a very clear message. Peace doesn't begin with you, it begins with God. And we need to teach the people that doesn't remember that or doesn't know that. We need to teach them to remember that in their mind. This es mi parte, Señor te bendiga.
Dios bendiga a nuestro hermano Jeremías, gloria a Dios, aleluya, y que siga predicando la palabra del Señor, gloria a Dios, aleluya, no importa quién se levante, gloria a Dios, aleluya, así como Daniel, gloria a Dios, aleluya, porque Dios es quien nos protege y nos